Nachtmystium, Silencing Machine. And this album came out in 2012 on Century Media Records. Nachtmystium are a 5-piece from Illinois, and they play experimental, psychedelic, American black metal. And Nachtmystium are definitely one of those bands where I can always expect something new and interesting being injected into the world of black metal. Or in this case, psychedelic black metal. And just to name off the members of the band, we have Blake Judd, who is the vocalist and guitarist, and he's also in the band. Twilight, Amonel on guitars, who is also in the band Avicii. Sanford Parker, who produces so many great metal records, is on effects and keyboards, and he's also in the bands Minxed, Buried at Sea, and Twilight, just to name a few. Charlie Fell on drums, who's also in the band Lord Mantis, and Will Lindsay on bass, who's also in the band Indian. Great fucking band. If you haven't heard Indian, definitely check those guys out. Check out all these bands that the members of Nachtmystium are also in. So this record for Nachtmystium definitely takes a different spin. Assassins and Addicts were highly experimental. And with this album, I feel that they've taken those experimental outings and infused them with a darker and sometimes more rocked out sound with Silencing Machine. Like for instance with the opening track, Dawn Over the Ruins of Jerusalem, there's a thick industrial backdrop with a hammering bass drum and dissonant vocals and guitars, and a real nasty, crusty, rubbery bass. And there's this entirely building upwardness within this track that just gets washed away, and then they slowly build things back up again, creating this rise and fall action. And then the track transforms into a blackened death rock type sound, and it will trade off with the black metal rise and fall action until everything is just lifted off into this nasty, very fast-paced, psychedelic sound mixed with black metal. On the track Silencing Machine, there's definitely a gentleness to the melody that's being played over this viciousness that lies in the belly of this track. And when the chorus does kick in, there's this death rock vibe combined with ferocious blast of tremolo picking and this extremely static psychedelic sound erupting from both the backdrop and the guitar's riffs that are being played at such an incredible speed that it's just something you're going to have to hear to believe. It's very, very different than anything I've heard in black metal and in music in general. It's just very, very dissonant, damaged, and just all-around fucked up sound that I'm really digging on. And the sound in this track changes once again into stripped down death rock before the second guitar kicks in with such a crusty, ugly sound that it's just beauty to my ears. And on the track And I Control You, it starts off with this slower tempo at its entry before vocals accompanied with that ugly, distorted, crusty guitar kick in and construct and twist and tower this track into epic black metal with its slow, deep, and hard head charge. And there's this Eastern-sounding synthetic instrument being played, making this track that's already pitch black just a little creepier. And that heavy, ugly, distorted guitar will often trail off and disappear for a while, but it's always hiding around the corner, just ready to beat this track into submission over and over again, just pounding it into the sand. But there's also some slower tracks on here, which I can understand why people would appeal to them. They're not bad tracks. I happen to enjoy them on some level, but it's just not what I'm looking for in black metal. Like on the track The Lepers of Destruction, has a very ballad sound to it, even though it's this really ugly, dark, black metal sound. Very warm, uplifting at times, very lush, but it still has that darkness to it. Another track with a similar feel is the track Borrowed Hope and Broken Dreams, which has this death rock feel to it, and it reminds me of just motorcyclists from hell just rolling down the street listening to this. But it does have that ballad type feel to it once again, and it's just another track that, you know, it's a good track, it's just not my vibe at all. Then the track I Wait in Hell kicks in, and it immediately has this tower of sound with these sweeping rise and fall of riffs that blast off into face-ripping speeds with chaos, and it does it seamlessly. It's not even a surprise. It just, all of a sudden, the entire sound just lifts off very smoothly, and then it will lash back down into that more middle tempo type sound, and towards its end, the track will transform into straight up death rock, combined with double bass madness. But there is a surprise. In the last 30 seconds of this song, one of the guitars kicks in and just fucks with your head entirely, and it's something else you just have to hear when you get your hands on this record. And it's this surprise ending that really, really makes this track stand out for me. And my favorite track on this record, this is pure fucking beauty in my opinion, is the track Decimation Annihilation, where bass guitar takes center stage, and this track sounds like blackened crust punk from hell. And there's all these synthetic sounds just boiling underneath the sound, giving this track so much character. And it's unlike anything I've ever experienced in black metal. And the musicianship is just amazing, just pure fucking beauty in my opinion. And if you listen to this track and you pay close attention to the notes that are being played, you can hear yourself being fucked with as things alter slightly. You think you're listening to a rhythm that's being repeated over and over, but if you pay close attention, it's not the case. Slightly altered, and you know, it'll make you want to go listen to this track over and over again and just be wowed over and over again like it has done for me. It's almost unnoticeable, but you definitely got to peep out this track. On the track Reduced to Ashes, this is some straight up, just old school black metal done very, very well. It immediately blasts from its entry and is absolutely crushing. And there's these eerie psychedelic sounds that are slowly washing over the sound as the speed of the track is just at a blistering speed. It has this very awesome effect. It's like listening to two tracks at once, getting two very, very different emotions at once. Very, very good track again. The track Give Me the Grave is a death rock track, which begins with this solo, crusty guitar right before that rubbery, nasty bass kicks in. Really, really cool track. Not too much to say about this track. It's just some straight up blackened death rock. And the closing track, These Rooms in Which We Weep, which is another ballad type track. Very, very slow in comparison to the more experimental tracks on this album. It really didn't do too much for me. In all honesty, this is definitely what I'd like to hear at the strip club. I'd like to see a girl stripping to the three ballad-esque type tracks on this record. That would be fucking amazing. But yeah, that's my criticism of the ballad type tracks. It's just not my vibe. They're not bad tracks. They're good tracks. They just not for me. Like I keep saying over and over again, you're probably sick of me fucking saying it. But yeah, for the most part, this album is really, really good, very experimental. There's a lot to devour, and I'm sure I'm going to listen to this many, many more times and pick up things more and more that I missed the first 10 times I listened to it. If you're into psychedelic black metal that's very experimental, and you just want to walk on uncharted territory. Nachtmystium is where it's at. So definitely peep out this album, in my opinion. It's Nachtmystium, Silencing Machine, and it came out in 2012 on Century Media Records. Thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and I'll see you all next time.